Welcome to the Devils Podcast. I'm John.
I'm Alex.
And we're bringing you the best Manchester United news from this side of the pond.
Ooh, sir, how we doing? You said you wanted football back. I don't know if you wanted that type of football back. The October run of fixtures started. Probably the hardest match of the season, sir. If you look on paper in the Premier League, City drubbed us. They drubbed us good, 6-3. We got slashed open in that first half. 4 goals, 2 for Holland, 2 for Foden. And Eric Ten Hag had to switch everything up in the second half. But wasn't great. Far from great. Kind of just shows the gap between these two clubs. You know, one club has methodically invested, has put expertise at every level of the organization, top to bottom, hasn't fucked around, hasn't really overspent on that many players. And that's the result. That's what you get on the pitch. On the other side of Manchester, we've got bankers running a club. We've got negligent owners that really don't care about the state of affairs, about the footballing side of the pitch. And that's what you get, sir. This is what you get. We're years behind them, $1 billion at least, and $1 billion spent well behind them. But either way, I think we talk enough about, the misgivings of the front office of Manchester United. The real sad thing was we didn't show up today. This was a top form City side, but United, that fight we started to see under this new manager, especially in the Liverpool and Arsenal games, we didn't show it until, gasp for the second half, but disappointing all around.
I mean, what? I'm speechless. I'm absolutely speechless. Honestly, the players, horrid. Like baby bitch performance like we've seen so many times. Like they run on vibes in preseason. They crash in the opening of the Premier League. Then they run on some vibes against Leicester and Southampton. You get one big result they turned up for against Arsenal. But since everything else has been table scraps, you could lose 3-0. You could lose 4-0. But we lost it in the first 15 minutes. We lost it in what I'm saying? Like, we never even showed up. It's just so you can lose a game, but just to never turn up for the game, it makes no sense. You have to look at the players. Ten Hag got it wrong. He absolutely got this game wrong as well. Like tactics out the window. First 10 minutes done. Like absolutely dusted. We're gonna sit back against Man City and have Eriksen try to mark Holland. Just horrid tactics, and then Ten Hag doesn't change it, sits on it for the first half, and the game's over, right? Obviously, second half, City's just trying not to get injured. They put on the kids at the end of the day. I mean, just absolutely ridiculous. And then you look at the transfers the front office have done and made. You look at this ownership. You look at what this club has represented and what it's meant to me, and you look at where we are. And it's just like the joke's on all of us because you know how I know we're Muppets, sir?
We think we got a chance.
We think we're winning this game.
Or we think we got a chance against this City side over the next couple of years. It's like we're nowhere near.
Yeah, but it's so frustrating for me. And you can use every excuse in the book. Pep's been there longer.
We will.
They've invested better. We spent the same amount of money. Ten Hag is a good manager, but he had a bad day. We got good players. They had a Sancho horrid day, Rashford horrid day. Anthony scored the goal, but
not much else.
He decided to try to attack City, left the middle of the park open. We got just run riot. Delow yellow card first 2 minutes. Malacia yellow card. It was you either lock it down and try to hit them on the counter, or you go at them. We didn't do neither. The tactics can't be explained in what the manager came up with and why you put the team out there. It reminds me of Ole Gunnar Solskjaer, where the ain't broke, don't fix it. Where it's I'm just gonna play the same 11 every game until we just blow up and then change it. It's clearly Casemiro has to be in this game. I would argue Ronaldo needs to be in this game just because of the moment and the player. Now everyone's gonna kill me saying that Ronaldo should play. He knows how to hold the ball up. Rashford's better on the left. Casemiro, if you're going to lock it down, McTominay, Fred and Casemiro. just an absolute disaster. Absolute disaster. And the manager is talking about how the players didn't turn up and they in the post game, and we can explain this one away and be like, hey, the good news is a lot of games to play in October. The bad news is this is like a fumble in all phases of this club, and it's a slow motion car crash. It's tough to see, and you and me have experienced this over and over and over again, and it's just a tough pill to swallow.
It is, but I'll tell you what, we laughed about it, when Holland signed for Manchester City and started just dunking in goals. That he's gonna be dunking on Manchester United for as long as he's in the Premier League, and even beyond, depending on where he goes next. But I think we can separate the two. I mean, one of the major reasons that United are so far behind the City side is because of the front office, if you will, and the people that are in charge other than Erik ten Hag. Because if you look at the caliber of the individuals that are running the club at City versus United, like, doesn't even compare. Like, they couldn't even be the interns of the guys working at City. But that's not the point of the matter. Ten Hag got it wrong. He tried to go toe-to-toe with one of the best teams in the world, best team in the league, arguably top 3 teams in the world. And
we didn't even go toe-to-toe.
No, they tried. I mean, they tried to, sir. They didn't play. I thought they were going to play like maybe a Fred Casemiro, like you alluded to, right? Really kind of pack it in, beat him on the counter. He played like the midfield that he played against Arsenal, which was, we're going to pass through you. We're going to play right up against you, sir. It felt like 2009 in Rome, Champions League, with Fergie tried to play toe-to-toe with the best Barcelona team ever and just got fucking teeth knocked out. Exact same thing. And
but we sat off them, though. The thing is, like, we had offensive attackers who literally aren't going to play any defense and then sat off City. It's like contradictory. Either you go at them and you press them high, win the ball high, and try to attack, or you play different players and you sit deep, 2 banks of 4, have Rashford play up with Ronaldo, try to get him in behind, or Bruno Rashford in a 4-4-2 makes more sense to try to lock it down against City. We didn't do it. The tactics are bizarre. The 11 is bizarre when you think about what you're doing with that 11. It makes no sense to me. I think Ten Hag, look, he gets a fumble. I'm behind the manager. But this show that we've seen and this movie that we've seen over and over again is, it's tough to swallow. Look, I'm going to try to leave it at that. I'm obviously frustrated beyond belief because what this badge and what this club has meant to me for such a long time, and the reason why I'm a Muppet and I keep coming back is, I think it's dead.
What's dead? You think what's
dead? The Manchester United badge being associated with like greatness, resilience, like never giving up, fighting to the death, and winning is just dead. Like that badge they wear on the shirt, and we watch it week in, week out, and it's not what it was. I don't care. Like I've said, you can play against City and lose. You can play against the best team in the league and lose, but you can't lose like that. That was poor. Maybe not as poor as what Ole Death Ball looked like last season, but if you're really honest with yourself, that is a very poor. Every touch everyone made was wrong. Everyone was shook. Everyone played scared.
It was worse last year, dude. You're not remembering correctly. And the man that gets the most slack is the manager.
I said it was worse last year. I said it was worse
because they were much better this year. They were much better. This is the best City side we've seen ever, dude. That team today were just like churning and burning. We played like shit, but they came to play and they just look like, they look like a top team. Holland just is, because their whole ethos has been like pass the ball into the back of the net, and then now you have this 6'4" monster that literally like you can't get a ball that's out of his grasp. He'll always find a way to slam it home. And Ronaldo wasn't winning this game for us. Like he wasn't, dude. He hasn't played well. He didn't look good on Portugal. But the midfield, we lost it there all day, and the changes weren't made early enough. You got to give Erik ten Hag time because you know what? He's new to the league. It's his first Manchester derby. He has shown some learnings on the job, and I'll tell you one thing. I am pretty positive he's going to learn from this, smack along the head. But if we had given more fight, if we had kind of showed up like we showed up against Liverpool, sir, I don't think we would have gone down 4-0. Like we looked like the old United side, which was just like on rollerblades.
No, I'm not saying anything negative. I'm not saying like Ten Hag, his job is in jeopardy. I want to get over the whole like City's so great, therefore we could never play great against them. We played so poor today that the game was lost. It was like the game was lost. Like you saw it. What was that first flurry that came in? Grealish right in between Varane, Delo, out of position. McTominay flailing. De Gea off the line, like 3 opportunities, should have been a goal like 2 minutes in. It's like you saw how it's going to go. We weren't even out of the starting blocks.
Nope.
We didn't even. That's what is the most frustrating part to me is like we should have a team, regardless of the manager. How long by now we should have a team that he trusts that can go out there and we can play with intensity from the jump and be able to stick to a plan that will help us not concede 4 goals before halftime, which we have done twice already this season, which is insane. Like that whole hang your head, like woe is me, poopy pants bullshit that gets us 4 goals and a half. That's what I'm pissed about. It's not conceding 2 to Haaland dunking and he's a great player. That will happen. It's the whole like we kind of give up hope. Like, and there's a lot of players on that pitch that have been part of those teams like last year. And it might not have been as bad as last year, but they're all part of those teams that gave up. You know, Harry Maguire's on the bench. Yeah, he wasn't great defending, but you know, Sancho, Rashford, they were all part of those teams last season under Ole. There's a lot of these players. Like when Ralph Rangnick said open heart surgery, we need 10 new players. There was something he was trying to get rid of. And this whole like, you know, vibes for 4 games and then just blast it out, like lose huge and a half. Like it's just so, it's anti-Manchester United. It's anti what a team should be able to compete at in the Premier League. I mean, it just, to me, it's very frustrating. I have to try to get over this game, but to me, it's just, there's so much commonality in how we were under Ole, how these players were under Ole. Like when the manager comes out in the presser is like, I told them to play with confidence. I told them to do this. What does that mean? It means the players are letting the manager down again. How does that go? Where does that go? It goes with the manager out the door in 18 months after 300 million pounds, and then you're into the next one, right?
Well, a bunch of idiots. If you have a bunch of idiots in charge, that's what they would do, which they might do because we still have a bunch of idiots in charge. Remember, we're not winning nothing. As long as the Glazers own Manchester United, we are winning nothing meaningful because they will never make the requisite investment necessary, nor will they put the people in place necessary to have a top-tier football club, sir. So I understand your frustration. I feel it, but also like we talked about this. We went into this window that all of a sudden ended up being a month long, high flying, and we did, right? And then we come out of it. Boys had a relatively good international break, and we played the best team in the league. You know, it's not a hard venue because like they don't give it. It was as quiet as like a church that fucking venue. But the point of the matter is, dude, like you said, we lost in the first 15 minutes. The game was already over. We were trying to hang on, and we were just giving away chances that a team of our caliber should not be given away. This is the top side, but like, dude, we got to dust ourselves off and look on to the next one. He's going to figure things out, our manager, and at the same time, they're going to make controversy about everything. We weren't the best team in the world after we won a run of 4 games, and we're not the worst team in the world. This is still a team that is like maybe 3 months into like the new rebuild, you know, take 5. This is the 5th rebuild in the last 10 years, and they're doing it over again, right? They listen to another manager, letting him pick all the players for better or for worse. We don't have a front office, bro. John Murtaugh, Richard Arnold are idiots. They have no idea what they're doing. They're not qualified to be there. So we're on our own, bro. It's just that guy. It's just Eric Ten Hag.
I guess it's like, look, and I know that I'm like venting, and obviously you got to take it as the Muppet take. But for me, it's, I guess the big thing is the consistency. You know, you want to win things. You want a good team. You got to be consistent. And it's like, we're not consistent. Rashford's not consistent. Sancho's not consistent. Bruno's not consistent. De Gea's not consistent. Go down the list of players. I mean, like, Delo's been consistent for 8 games. You know,
Varane
but like,
wasn't.
Where
Delo wasn't. They both got caught out today.
No, but I'm saying like consistency is what separates men from boys in this sport, and you can't have like all these games not turn up. Now the good news, like I said, is we got a hell of a lot of games to turn it around. And Ten Hag turned it around. right? Brentford 4-0, drubbing, like turned it around.
Beats
We
the
got
Scousers.
Thursday Omonia, we got Everton away, and
It
What'd
ain't
you
all
say?
over yet, bro. We got a big October. This is always the hardest one of the bunch. Like I said, this is the hardest game in the 38-week Premier League schedule. The best team, and you're on the road. It is. And we play like shit, and I have to say, they did play well. That's no excuse. It's shameful for a Manchester United side, but like, sir, we got to take
No, but we
our
got
losses
this
and
in
move
us.
on to the next one, right? We got to like,
Yeah,
he's got
yeah,
the
but the
11 that he
problem is we
picks against
have this
Omonia is
in
going to be
us.
really critical, right? Because I think before he would have just done heavy rotate, and now he needs a win to lift morale.
I know, but it's like, but this is obviously we're going on a long tangent here, but it's like we got this whole like don't show up, lose, like let in 4.5 goals in us, and it's just like that's something that is not going to be able to fly with the amount of fixtures we have right now of this season. And look, sir, it's going to be if you're listening to this podcast, I mean, what do you expect? You're just going to hear the Muppets whinge.
You listen after a
we've seen it all.
6-3, that could have been even worse, right? It could have been like 8-2, but sir, it's
They
for the
stopped
fans.
playing.
For the
I
fans.
mean, they stopped playing, and it good on them.
Dude, they hit the post. They could have had a couple more in the first half. They could have had 6 goals in the first half.
I guess the last question I have: why didn't 2-0, 3-0 Casemiro for Eriksson? Like
It's like a hard move to, to do a first half
Why doesn't
sub.
he change it?
First half sub is like a FIFA move, bro.
He-
It's like, unless it's an injury, it's like a really like shot across the bow to be like, you're out. 35th minute. I'm not saying it didn't warrant it, given how much we were getting fucking lit up.
No, but he brought in. He tried to seal up shop after 5 and let in 6. I mean, it just. That's what I don't understand. Is like, it's just. It's just, to me, everything about this game. I gotta just put it behind us.
Get through it, sir.
So that
Band-Aid. This is
I don't
the
like
preamble, bro.
I don't
Preamble.
like to swallow this L here, but
Take it on the chin.
quick PSA for the podcast. We're the American Red Devils. We are for fans by fans. If you like this podcast, the best way you can support us is Patreon. Help us out. It's been a rough day. It's going to be a rough pod to get through here. We don't have any commercial sponsors or anything on this podcast, and that's why we want to be supported by directly you guys, the fans. Check out our Patreon page. Like I said, patreon.com/American Red Devils. You sign up, you get a behind the scenes episode. We're dropping that one today. We give away pin stickers, scarves, shirts, you name it. Check out our website, AmericanRedDevils.com. Also, go to our store. We have hoodies, beanies, shirts, everything, all the Muppet gear that you need. AmericanRedDevils.store. Tell them about iTunes reviews.
iTunes reviews or 5-star reviews of wherever you listen to the American Red Devils podcast. It's a great way to support the pod, and even better, we're still giving away free merch from now until the end of time, sir. From now until the end of this pod, all you have to do is write a 5-star review wherever you listen and send a screenshot to AmericanRedDevils@gmail.com with your mailing address, and I will personally pick, pack, and ship some free ARD gear. Send it right to your door anywhere in the world. We mean it. Here's a great review straight off the presses. Best Manchester United podcast from JDC. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. It's true. Look no further. This is the best Manchester United podcast of all of my friends. I have been the only Man United fan for 20 years, and it's honestly been a bit frustrating taking their criticism and banter. But since finding this podcast, I feel a part of the fan base. The podcast is really more of a community of fellow fans than just a podcast. Great work, guys. Keep it up. Thank you, JDC. Thank you all for writing those 5-star reviews. They go a long way to helping us get found by other Muppets like yourself that want to just like, just watch this game, 6 a.m. in the West Coast. Just enjoyed it so much that they want to they want to listen to us complain about it for an hour.
Dude, I refuse to just make excuses for this team. That's all I'm trying to do is just be like, excuse. Everyone's just like, excuse. We didn't play for a month. Excuse. Everyone. Oh yeah, City's so good. It's like we're Manchester United, dude. Don't forget it. Don't forget where you come from. Don't forget the history of this club. And you know what? The main issue, it always comes down to the Glazers, dude. Obviously, it's the Glazers. It's always been the Glazers. And,
always will be.
Look, this is going to be a weird season with the World Cup. We got to brush off the 6-3. We got, Who Are You FC midweek in Cyprus. Everton, we should demolish them. We got 3 easy games. We need to tune them up and get back ready to roll, sir. Ready to roll. Let's get into it. Manchester City 6, Manchester United 3 at the empty had. They couldn't even sell all these seats.
Amazing, by the way.
Game week 8 in the Premier League.
Isn't that incredible, sir? They're the Premier League champions playing their local rival, and they can't even sell at the stadium on a beautiful Sunday.
Let's get an 11. Dave says rule number 1 net. Malacia at left back, Martinez Varane center back pairing, Delo at right back, McTominay sitting by himself playing CDM, Fernandez, Eriksson, midfield 2, Sancho, Rashford, Antony up top. What did you make of this lineup? No changes from Erik ten Hag.
So it's a bold lineup. Like I said, I think the move now, playing Monday morning quarterback, which is easy, of course, it would have been to play the 2 Brazilians in the middle of the park and just try and counter them. That's what you would have expected from that front 3. He opted for the same 11 that, had been playing well up until the international break / Queen's break. Obviously didn't work out well, sir. Nobody played well. Nobody played well in that 11.
I would be thinking sit 2 banks of 4, Rashford plus somebody you can pass him the ball, whether that be Eriksson or Bruno, and sit in.
Fred Casemiro, bro. Like right in front of Martinez
exactly.
and Varane.
I'm surprised mainly because Fernandez and Eriksson, in the middle of the field. So it's was surprised with the lineup and surprised how he came out. So let's just get into it. First half, United to come out and what was that goal line clearance to Hayam, blocked by McTominay, the low yellow, Grealish just getting at us. Cancelo, that right hand side, City famously attacked early to start last year because AWB couldn't play it out there. They go right back to that right hand side. McTominay all over the place, Eriksson all over the place. Team stretched, tons of gaps. City, Mourinho said it, first 15 minutes, you know how the game's going to go, and it didn't take 15 for them to get their first goal.
In the 8th minute, sir.
Bernardo Silva, Foden! City slick!
Sir, beautiful finish from Foden, but you have to say United just wide open. I mean, that's the story of the whole game. It's just too easy. We didn't close them down in the midfield. We didn't close them down on the edge of the box. And then when they put in one of those sweeping balls, nobody's going there for a block. Martinez did have a couple during the game, but just all in all, Varane, it looks so lights out up into this game today. He looked like Harry Magoo.
Gun to get a free kick, hits the post, and then Holland could be dragging those Norwegian nuts all over our faces for the next decade to come. Let's just play these goals. Just get through them.
Get used to it. 34th minute, the Norwegian.
De Bruyne's corner. Holland! Goal!
I'll tell you what, that freak would look great in red, sir. What a shame. He wasn't done yet. 37th minute, gut punch. Here we go.
De Bruyne. Holland! Again and again and again.
And this is the one I want to call out because I don't think anyone else in the entire world scores this goal. This is the third one where De Bruyne put in this curling outswinger ball that was actually a little bit ahead of him. And dude, he has no business scoring this goal. I mean, it's actually absurd that he scored a goal here, but Sir Holland, he's a generational player. He's going to I don't think he's going to score 65 goals this season, but he's going to break the record if he stays healthy. And down goes Varane also after this goal, sir. 40th minute, Lindelof came in for Varane. So that's also not a good sign because...
Yeah, but so you have to look at it. So I think in the 3rd minute, that flurry of chances off the goal line, we barely survived. That could have been a goal.
Oh, yeah.
8th minute was a goal. Gundogan off the bar. 34th minute, Holland. 37th minute, Holland. That's 5 in almost 35 minutes. Nothing from Ten Hag. Same thing with Brentford when I like to see the manager make a decision here. The only thing I saw was Antony and Sancho swap sides. It's got to be Eriksson not for his fault, but trying to do a job as a CDM, and you have Casemiro on the bench that he spent $60 million on. If you play Casemiro and he sucks, that's on Casemiro. I think the decision has to be between one of these Holland goals or after the third one. you got to change it up to 2 CDMs and try to get a hold of something here. And then that could have prevented the 44th minute.
I don't disagree, especially because like it wasn't just like, oh, they scored 3 goals. Like you said, there was a bunch of chances, and we were just not even in it. And it was clear like we were getting fucking torn apart in the midfield. It was all in the midfield. We like never had a chance because they were just running right through us. Partly because the 10-8 combo just couldn't hold up with who they got. So, like you said, that could have been a move. That doesn't seem to be the move that Eric Ten Hag likes to do. I mean, thus far, it's pretty early into his tenure. It's like less than 10 games.
But it's not like you're down by 2 and you're like, let it play out.
No, but there's they were getting chance after literally chance. You were holding on. You were getting like Rocky IV, like Stallone just getting fucking body shots, and they're trying to throw the towel in. You're like, oh Rock. Yeah, like we need Fred. I'll tell you what, when you're begging, when John is begging for Fred and or Casemiro, that means we were getting like brutalized, bro. I'll tell you what, it was like twins between Foden and Holland. They just look like one's like a mini me version of the other one, and they were just savaging us. It was horrible. Anyway, let's finish this half. 44th minute.
Haaland on the march, aimed in for Foden. A first half rout.
Sir, he could also pass. Now that was a ball in, perfectly weighted for Foden, just slams it home. Malacia, he did not have a good game. Neither of our fullbacks had a good. I mean, nobody had a good game. And that was the first half, sir. That was basically the game because that first half was definitely the uglier of the 2 first halves. They certainly switched off in the second. We made some changes, but that first half, that's as brutal of a first half as I don't know, man, that we'll ever see. I mean, the Liverpool game last year, of course, famous. But this, they were just like couldn't be stopped, bro. Like T2, Terminator 2, like liquid metal.
Yeah, like the Liverpool and City games from last year is kind of like players giving up on the coach. This is just more like players like not understanding the level that they need to be at. And you're right, brutal first half. But let's just finish this match here.
Sir, we gotta stay light. You know what? Because I haven't done a pod with you in a while since Monday, and even if we should be laughing even when we get our asses kicked. So that's just a little life lesson, sir.
No,
enjoying it. Laugh while you cry.
I laugh at a lot of things. This one wasn't funny.
No, it wasn't.
No, this was not funny. This was like
Rock taking body punches, bro.
No,
that was embarrassing.
It's like okay. You have a game plan. All right. Go to plan B. After how many goals you gonna let in before you go to plan B? Clearly it's 4.
Graham Lasso didn't make it better.
Clearly it's like 1, like hit the post.
It.
Another goal line clearance. Goal. Still not changing the plan. It's like, okay, we'll get another one. So it's just like, here we go, second half. Like you said, I think they came out. We did have more of the ball, but against City, this is Pep's instructions, probably like don't get injured.
Yep.
Just clearly they changed. Shaw came on for Malacia. Luke Shaw looking super svelte after eating all those meat pies, and then look, the few highlights here for Manchester United. Anthony had a worldie of a curl here in the 56th minute.
He keeps proving me wrong, sir. The Brazilian with a nice left boot.
Slips away from Grealish and has a shot and scores a super goal. A truly super goal. What a sharp, spiky hit that was. And United have cause, cautiously to smile.
Well, this is lovely football. They've had the ball for...
I can't listen to any more Graham. Graham was brutal this morning. But what a goal from Anthony. He keeps proving me wrong, sir. How dare I say, I'm not sure he's the finished article because what a goal that was. Just like what's his name? Robin on his left foot coming in, curling it. Dude, beauty. Nice goal.
Hey, great goal. If City was, trying to still play, wouldn't go in. We wouldn't have the ball. I have to caveat that. This is like...
That's like a wonder goal.
Like,
I don't think
it's a garbage
the other ones
time
maybe.
Goal. I mean, it's not like... This is a...
You're salty. You're salty today, sir. You're very salty. I won't take anything. Take a banger. You want to take a banger?
All of a sudden, we start getting a bunch of possession. It's not like we were playing that much better. It's like, look, great goal. That's a great goal from Anthony. But, first half, he didn't help, and that's kind of why we're in this spot. That's just being brutally honest. 59th minute, Martial and Casemiro on for McTominay and Rashford. I like this change. And then, all right, Holland's like, we feel a little bit of a threat with that one goal. Boom, here we go, 64th minute. We're going to turn it on.
Bruyne, Gomez, Holland! A hat-trick.
Get used to those Holland hat tricks, sir. This is the one that, in many ways, is the most. It was like we had like 6 defenders standing all around him, and you know they're looking for Erling Haaland, right? You know Haaland wants his hattie. Just switched off, you know. I know the game is effectively over at this point, but just disappointing to see because.
Yeah, but there's this whole like narrative, like we beat them in the second half, and it's like you got to be kidding me, dude. Like they literally like. No, I know, but you know what I'm saying? Like you have to be kidding me. You don't think City switched off here? It's like they're up by 4.
Of course they do.
And then as soon as we get a goal, they like clap back with 2. 72nd minute.
72nd minute, Fred did come on for Sancho. Sancho did not have a great game, but who did? And as you said, 72nd minute, Phil Foden.
And Haaland. And Haaland. And Foden! 6!
Getting that Victor Lindelof defending, sir. I'll tell you what, Maguire, he'd be next man up. He's injured. Lindelof, he's your next 30 million pound center back just standing there ball watching. That's also frustrating. Is like they played good football, but like we were just, dude, some of the goals we gave up are just shocking. Just standing around, ball watching, no one being proactive, no one cutting down the space.
No, that's the problem. Like, you know, that's why I'm, you know, it's this is a rough one, a wake up call, and we got to use it. Let's get in these Martial goals because these are the first 2 he's had in a long time.
Let's do it. 83rd minute, the Frenchman having an impact.
It in. Here's Fred. And United have another back.
I've never heard such subdued commentary. They have another back, and that's that. You know, nice little play from Fred to Shaw. Martial, I like that he follows it up, puts his body on the line, least he could do. But no one's going to be blaming Martial for this loss.
No, yeah, I like Fred. That was good for him getting forward. You know, I think that's great. And then 91st minute here, Martial gets the penalty. Slots it home.
Martial, it's a belter of a penalty. You don't save that. And Manchester United.
Nice pen. I didn't see the foul. They didn't even include the foul in the recap, sir. But that's all she wrote. 6-3. I think, like you said, the scoreline does us, actually flatters us. You know, they just beat the shit out of Manchester United. Sad day for us, but like, you know, I'm trying to be the glass half full guy today just because why not? Hard fixture, toughest fixture of the lot. Time to turn it around. Lessons learned. That's not good enough.
But, yeah, but it's like cliche FC, excuse factory, chugga.
What else we got, bro?
That's
what else we
you
got, dude? What
I mean,
else
like,
we got, bro?
Yeah, but it's as if, you know, we've watched this team for, you know, over 20 years at this point, and this last decade. I mean, what else have you seen other than the same movie before? I mean, this is just the same. I feel like Rashford is going to be like 36, making like millions of dollars and like still doing what he's doing right now. I just feel like we're just going to be in purgatory of like Europa League and like thinking we got a shot. Like that's just literally it. You know, it's just going to be the same type of show until the Glazers sell the club. You know, it's like we beat that drum a lot here on this podcast, but we have to be saved. We have to be saved from this because. Man, you would have never, even when it was 6, like, for example, you and me together watching 6-1, Why Always Me, Balotelli, right? That one shook us. Like, that was a game where we were like, oh, wow.
That was
right?
the beginning of the end, bro. That's when the slide started.
No, but you would have never imagined 10 years from now, or like almost, I don't know how long ago that game was. Almost 10 years.
More than 10. That was 11,
More
I think,
than 10.
right?
Actually, yeah, you're right. I think it's more than 10 years. You would have never imagined. You would probably think at some point, like, it maybe got a little worse, but then we figured it out, got better, and then we're kind of like head-to-head. Like, at that point, it felt like we were clashing heads with them. Now, it's like we've just fallen off so much. We're like, all the United fans say, well, City's so good, we can't expect anything from them. Could you ever imagine like that? Like, if I told you that 10 years ago, 10 years from now, people will be saying, "Oh, well, we can't beat them anyway because they're so good," and you wouldn't be able to even fathom that because that's how foreign it would be to be a Manchester United fan at that point.
Sorry, it's always been, if you look at the track record of this club from the very way back when, it's always been like a feast or famine. The good times are good, the bad times are bad, and we are in the bad times. And the one thing is, like, if you look at the historical track record, the dry streaks are usually between like 25 and 30 years. We're due for one of those, and we're only 10 years into it. So I would say this shit's going to keep sliding, and it's going. I think it's wholly dependent on the owners, because like we also have to assume or hope that the next owners are benevolent and have enough money and aptitude to get things right, because it's not just about spending money, right? You look at the amount of money spent, dollar for dollar, we actually spent more in theory than City, but it's about how you spend it and who you give big contracts to and who you spend 80 million pounds on. And we're miles off, brother. We are miles off, because like I'll tell you what, it was clear as day. 2011, Manchester United refused to pony up 34 million pounds for Sergio Aguero because the Glazers didn't want to spend money, and City were happy to.
By the way, and it was David Silva. It was a 2-player deal. Yep.
We should have had him, bro. That should be our player, sir. And same with Holland, dude. It's like they're just, sir. And they're gonna get belly. They want
shots for Man City, 22 shots for Manchester United, 12 shots on target, 10 for Man City, 8 for Manchester United, 55% of the ball for City, 45% for United. Most of that coming in the second half. They had 5 quarters to our 1. This is the stat that scares me. Since the start of the 2021 season, Manchester United have conceded 4+ first half goals in 4 Premier League games versus Spurs, Liverpool, Brentford, and City. This is twice as often as any other side over this time period. That is a bad statistic. Obviously, Spurs, we did have the red card. But those 3 games, brutal.
3 different managers on their tenure, right? Ole, Rangnick, and now Erik ten Hag. Players, sir. That's the one constant. But got to get better. Thankfully, we have a match on Thursday. It might be the match we need. But on the road, this feels like a trap game, sir. The worst game in the group, worst team in the group, but on the road in Cyprus, that should be fun.
Let's hear from the manager. What do you have to say about this disaster class?
A disappointing afternoon. What did you make of it?
Clear. Very disappointed, and especially the lack of belief. And I didn't expect it. Our team was in the games, and obviously it's some weeks ago, but was confident. There was a good spirit. There was a good vibe. And today we didn't bring that on the pitch from the first minute on, and then you all run back and you collect goals. That's quite clear when you play against top players like they have, and you run back, you collect goals.
Why do you think that good vibe has gone? Where do you think it's gone?
I don't see it for it's gone, like it's you express it like it's definitive, but it isn't. But today, because they didn't bring the belief on the pitch, and it was possible to play, and we didn't. On the ball, we give easy balls away. We make many wrong decisions, and out of position, we didn't wear front foot, and that is what I always expect from my team. And today, they didn't.
Much better control from your side in the second half. Anthony Martial comes back from injury and scores twice. That's good news.
Yeah, clear. He had a really good pre-season, and I'm happy for him that he scored the goals, and also for Anthony that he scored a goal, and we had some opportunities more which we create, but in this moment I cannot express for the outside world. There are always positives, but we are highly disappointed about this result, and that has to be the tone for this Sunday, and we have to accept that.
So he ain't mincing words. Disappointment is clear. Not making excuses. I mean, he's just saying didn't show the self-belief, made mistakes. He made some mistakes. That wasn't something that he discussed, but I'm sure he knows it. Either way, we got to dust ourselves off. It's a long campaign. It's a long month, let alone campaign, and we got to turn the momentum around in advance of the World Cup, because it's going to be like you said, it's like a tale of 2 seasons with the winter break having to go to the Middle East for this big cup competition for the national team. So, like, if we got to kind of stay in the top 4 hunt between now and then, and part of that is just turning it around. And, you know, the Thursday match is big, but the Everton match is going to be big. They're actually on a bit of form. We'll talk about that on Thursday, but we got to be winning.
I like what he says. He says the right things in the press conference. Honestly, you know, there are no excuses. That is the right mentality to take. And obviously, Keno was back at it. He was clapping. What did Keno have to say?
Let's check it out.
This game, Roy, what was wrong? What was wrong with them?
It's the way they started. They were slower at the blocks. Foden mentioned earlier the way they started again. They sent a message that they were up for it. Obviously, the first goal is huge. A goal done after 8 minutes. Never recovered. There were spaces everywhere. They were sloppy in possession. Rashford didn't get hold of it. The wide players giving away, you know, just sloppy play. Every time City went forward, they looked like they were going to score. Man City were magnificent. Watching Man City, it is a pleasure. Watching them live, they're one of the best teams I've ever seen. But Man United, a huge setback from them. And again, we were giving them a little bit of praise over the last few weeks, but this is a huge step back. You know, 4-0 down at half time. They were 4-0 down at Brentford. And the performance in the second half, it's no good. You know, even this consolation, they scored a few goals. The game's over. Man City switched off. They made a lot of substitutions. There was no aggression in Man City's play in the second half. They were still obviously comfortable going forward, but defensively, very, very poor. Nothing from Man United to take out of this game, just real. I think from the players' point of view, they really should be embarrassed. You know, you can't go in a half-time 4-0 down in a derby game. It's hugely embarrassing. As brilliant as Man City were, United were desperate, particularly midfield. They got overrun in midfield, defensively all over the shop. Again, we look at leadership. There was nothing there for Man United.
Pep Guardiola said before the game that it always comes down to just a difference in quality between the players. And while Manchester City could argue they have the better quality on the pitch in this game, the application that Manchester United put in, particularly in the first half, the things that you're saying, the sort of immeasurable qualities that they were lacking in that. How can they excuse that in a derby?
For all City's quality in which they have, you still have to make it a little bit hard for them. We highlighted there at half-time, obviously the first few goals, particularly the first goal, it's 5-10 minutes into the game. It's not as if they've worn Man United down with their passing, they're tired. It's still early in the game, there's no aggression. You've got to close people down. If you drop off the quality of players of Man City, you're going to be in huge trouble. Haaland and Foden were brilliant, but if they're getting the surface when people like De Bruyne and you're giving them time and space, you are looking for trouble. And they got punished, and rightly so, because this game is brutal. Top level sport is fantastic. It's brutal for Man United today. When you're not quite at it, you get hammered by your local rivals. Brilliant there for Man City, absolutely fabulous. 2 players there getting interviewed, hat-tricks for both of them, fantastic. But for Man United, again, they should be embarrassed.
I just think
Sir, I'll tell you what, Roy Keane, when he shoots, he doesn't miss. He's a great pundit. And everything he said is spot on. You know, it's like there's no excuses being blown to shreds that first half, giving up a goal so early, easy chances. It wasn't like they were worn down. You know, he does acknowledge that it's a special City side that you saw today, just like going through the motions, but not good enough for Manchester United, not good enough in a derby, not good enough for the players going out wearing that badge, sir. We know what it means. Munich, Busby Babes, beyond everything. And we're a far, far cry from that. I'll tell you one thing. Guarantee you, sir. They had the sad and Fergie in the stands, but they ain't got no sad Joel Glazer, bro. He ain't watching the game. He wasn't in England, so that's what you need to know. City's owners were there. United's owners weren't.
Yeah, but you know, I love Fergie, but he's on the payroll of the Glazers.
I know it, bro. I know it.
And yeah, Roy Keane and him obviously have their history. What does this mean for the table? Obviously, we don't talk about the table till Christmas, but Alex, you like to give a little preview. So you want to jump into that?
I'll make it quick. Arsenal won the North London Derby, so they sit on top with 21 points. City right behind them at 20. Spurs at 17. Brighton at 14. Chelsea leapfrog us with 13. They got a win at Palace yesterday, and then United right behind them, 12 points. Newcastle behind us. We're playing them in a couple weeks. Fulham, Liverpool, Brentford. Sir, still a top 4 hunt, but big games. It's all about this month. I mean, we said it ad nauseum. Hardest one of the bunch. Time to move on. Sir, have you ever heard of this club? You want to hear some music? You want to hear a beat drop? Let's go. Europa League, sir. How we feeling? You ready for this?
No.
You ready for Thursday Night Football?
Yeah, I know. Man, Eric Ten Hag has a lot to figure out here. You know, he's got a lot to figure out and how to get a team up for playing in Cyprus against a team no one's ever heard of.
You haven't heard of Omonia FC? You know, storied franchise of 20 years. The game's on Thursday. It's at 9:45 a.m. Pacific time, 12:45 Eastern time, and like you said, sir, it's on the road.
No, it's really a challenge. It's actually a challenge because you have an unhappy Ronaldo who's going to start. Casemiro's going to start. Lindelof's going to start. Magoo's probably going to start. And then it's like, and when we start all these players, they haven't looked good in the Europa League away. So it's, you have kind of the disenfranchised 11. You have the starting 11 who just got clapped at the empty hat away. Now Ronaldo's like obviously not happy. I don't know. You're gonna get the best out of him. It just seems that it's playing into this weird kind of squad drama again. Like, why can't Casemiro get into 11? Why can't you give Ronaldo a start? There's arguments for him to start and not to start, but I don't think Ronaldo's like our default like backup Europa League striker, because I don't think Rashford is playing so amazing at number 9. Martial has been injured. I just don't know why. It's like, did something happen behind the scenes with Casemiro and Ronaldo? What's going on? It just, when you have that type of drama and you think it's spilling over, not good for Manchester United, because you'd like to see all these players hitting their stride at the same time.
Let's finish strong. Hold on, sir. Listen to that shit all season, my man.
Hey, the end is not bad. So
the end is the best part. The best part's the end.
Hey, the semifinal, the final, the Europa League, they're the best part too. The group stage against Omonia going to Cyprus, not so much. But once you get into these kind of weird squad rotations, it's kind of like, I kind of felt like Ole had that too, where he favored certain players so much that it almost disenfranchised other players, and that's where Sir Alex was so good, getting big players up for certain matches and be able to demand management of like having everyone happy and playing in certain situations and rotating exactly when you needed to or right before you needed to. And now you're going to have, like, I do believe there's like a disenfranchised 11, like AWB, Luke Shaw, McGuire, Lindelof, Fred, Casemiro. It kind of writes itself who you play, and then they didn't look good. And so obviously Amonia's nobody, but there is a little bit of that. Everyone's fresh though.
Everyone's fresh. I hear what you say, but it's also like we haven't played in 3 weeks, so I think he just defaulted to the same 11. These players obviously are going to get their chance, the ones you highlighted, and then it speaks to the fact that like you have at this point you can't call the Glazers inexperienced. They've owned this club for like 18 years. You just have like a disinterested, not involved, and also just like fucking bunch of morons.
Rotations.
Joel Glazer was like, we're not selling
manager.
Cristiano Ronaldo. He was like, we are not selling Cristiano Ronaldo. We won't let him leave. And then
Yeah,
now Eric Ten Hag's going to be
public.
He's saying in public, but it all leaked behind the scenes that like basically Joel Glazer wouldn't want to sell him because of commercial reasons, wanted to sell jerseys. So you could make of it what you will. I could see that he'd be happy to let him go. But now,
yeah, but sad Ronaldo's not good for the team.
No, it's not. It's
not
not good.
And that's the whole thing. You got to manage the team. You have to there's a bit of a man management. Like, fine, let him play with U23s if you hate him that much.
Yeah,
it's just one of those things where it's like you kind of can't. One bad apple spoils the bunch. You got to keep everyone happy. You got to make everyone feel like they're included. It goes sour. Look at Tuchel. Like he couldn't keep everyone happy at Chelsea, and it went sour. I mean, there's a bit of man management as a manager. This is on Ten Hag to keep everyone happy. The whole like Casemiro's not fit narrative, that's over, dude. Like Casemiro's fit. It's bizarre that you would pay that much money for a midfielder and he wouldn't come play. McTominay should play next to him. I'm not saying he should start in front of McTominay, but just the default to not playing him. when you have a player of that caliber on those wages, paid that money, it's strange. It's strange.
No doubt. But he'll get his moments, I'm sure.
Yeah, and his moment will be in Cyprus against Omonia FC, which is weird. Omonia lost to Sheriff September 8th, 3-0. They lost in the Cyprus League to Apollon, 2-1. Lost to Real Sociedad, 2-1. They lost. Omonia beat another team in the Cyprus League, Limani, 4-0. Omonia beat Doxa 2-0, and then they're going to play us. And just a caveat, Real Sociedad, I know how to say it, but we call it the Sociedad on the podcast. So people actually think that we're saying that on purpose, but it's a joke.
Don't tell them. Don't tell them. Just have them get mad at us for
like
mispronouncing
saucy
things.
as in like saucy meatballs, and a dad as in like a dad.
Papa. You got
Saucy
it. You
dad.
got it. What about ammonia? Is that how you say it? I doubt it.
I think that's how you pronounce it. A little history on athletic club Omonia Nicosia, commonly known as Omonia Nicosia or Ammonia. Harmony is the definition, is a Cyprus professional multi-sport club established in 1948 in Nicosia, Cyprus. It's best known for its football department, which has played in the Cypriot First Division since joining the Cyprus Football Association in 1953. And on June 14, 2018, the football department of AC Omonia became a professional for-profit football company, since known as Omonia FC. Omonia is one of Cyprus' most successful football clubs, having won 21 national championships, 15 cups, and a record of 17 Super Cups. Omonia has won 5 doubles, a record of 3 domestic trebles. It is one of 3 Cyprus's clubs never to have been relegated to the second division. AC Omonia also operates basketball, volleyball, futsal, cycling, women's football, and women's volleyball. So AC Omonia developed this football club. Now it's gone full commercial, and they're doing things and kicking around in the Europa League. So it will be interesting to see what they're all about. I can only imagine the roster of players out in Cyprus. Sir, they should be giving you a call to play keeper.
I was about to say, you know a lot of these players. Who's your highlight in this 11? Katosis?
They
Bakaru?
have Mixed Discarud, who famous U.S. men's national team player.
Is that
and the 3-5-2?
Is that the Discarud?
Yeah, I believe it is. Someone correct me on that. But they played the 3-5-2. Mix was there in 2014 in Brazil. Didn't get a lot of playing time. Physioroom.com. The highlight is we are decently healthy. Dubravka, muscle injury. He should be back for this match. So maybe we'll see him start. Donny Van de Beek had a knock. He could be back as well. Brandon Williams, no return. McGuire, no update. And Baran didn't get an update, but he did have that knock, and he is due. What did he play? 4 games? He's due to get injured. So
I'm about to say, first game back.
Lineup?
Yeah, my lineup.
What is your lineup here?
I got De Gea in net, AWB. I think he's still in this team. I'm going to play him at right back. Martinez, Lindelof, Shaw, Casemiro, Eriksson, Bruno. I don't want to go too defensive. And then I'm going to do Sancho, Rashford, Ronaldo, CR7 back in the full. What you got, sir?
I got Dave Saves world number 1 in net. Wan-Bissaka, Martinez, Lindelof, Shaw, Casemiro, Eriksson, Fred, Anthony, Rashford, Ronaldo. CR7 back playing for Manchester United. Booking the bookies. United heavy favorites -460. The draw +550. Omonia to win +1000. Given those the odds, what is your score prediction for this match?
Sir, they're going to come out feisty. No doubt about that. I'm going 2-0 United. Needed win. It's not going to be pretty. We're going to be moaning a little bit, but 3 points nonetheless. What do you got?
2-1. At the rate we're going now, by the hair on our chin, it's hard to show up in these weird games away. We haven't played great, so I hope we blow the doors off of them, but we shall see. Let's get into the news.
Haven't played great. Night of the news, sir.
United in the news. Cantona offered to be Manchester United's president of football and help to turn the club's fortunes around, but was rebuffed by good old Ed Woodward. And the quote from Ed Woodward, great at marketing, but not great at football.
Sounds about right. Cantona, always one of my favorites. Love the Frenchman. Cheeky little comment from him in the pressers, but I'll tell you what, he might not be qualified to be president of football. I don't know what that means. I don't know, a director of football, but he's more qualified than John Murtaugh is. So I would take Cantona back in any capacity all day long because the current crop of decision makers are not top tier. I'll tell you what, but it is what it is.
Yeah. This is one of those where as fans, we love Cantona, but like, show me the resume. For me, you look at Van der Sar, who's actually done a great job at Ajax, a legendary job at Ajax so far, and he's a Manchester United legend. He has the CV, he has the experience. That's what I'm looking for. I always think you have to have the CV, you have to have the experience. Cantona would feel good, but Ed Woodward's just a numpty, and look who he had replace him. I mean, Ed Woodward was the director of football. That's and then right. We were rumored with hiring a bunch of world-class ones, and we never did. And then Super League, there you go. Next one here, this was Roy Keane went on another rant on Sky Sports. He said Manchester United showing disrespect to Ronaldo. It's just going to get uglier. Roy Keane blasts his former club for not letting the veteran leave, only to bench him following the snub in the Manchester derby. What do you think? Ten Hag said in the post-game, I didn't put him in because I respected him. He said he didn't want to disrespect Ronaldo for putting him in a game where we were getting blown out. That seems weird to say. Is it disrespect he didn't play him? I mean, it's the Manchester derby. Rashford had an injury, and there could be fitness concerns. Martial as well. Ronaldo's fit. Our leading scorer the season before, the GOAT. What do you think?
I don't think it's that strange that he didn't start because, he didn't have a good international break. He hasn't been quite in the form that he was last season. And I thought we would have gone about this game differently. I thought they were going to play like the double CDM, like the Omonia with cheese, but instead use Casemiro with Fred and try to counter. And obviously that wouldn't be the best thing for Ronaldo because he doesn't have the legs to play counterattacking football for even 60 minutes. Bring him off the bench. And at that point, the game was a foregone conclusion. So I actually get what he's saying. The game was like done at the 36th minute. So you're not going to bring on Ronaldo. He'll just get frustrated, maybe get injured. I do think he's going to have a role to play, but I do think this decision, keeping him around in the first place, is like that whole who's the director of football? It's John Murtaugh? No, it's Joe Glazer. Because at the end of the day, the Glazers are like making decisions about who we sign and who we don't get rid of or sell. So that's who your director of football is because they're the ultimate decision maker. But I have to imagine he's going to feature,
Anthony, you have to look, Anthony is Ten Hag's decision. So part of the director of football was punted to Ten Hag, and Ten Hag said, get me Anthony, right? He didn't say, get me Njoku or Sesko. He didn't say, get me a 9. He said, get me a right winger, right? And he probably said, hey, we can get you X or Y or just Anthony, and he went Anthony. So, there is a little bit of Ten Hag here, and I thought that if you get Anthony, then you're going to use Ronaldo. And I'm surprised how little he's used Ronaldo. It's almost like I find it disrespectful taking into account all the games Ronaldo's been snubbed, where you would think there's an argument to play Rashford on the left, play Ronaldo. He looked good in a lot of games in spots linking up, putting our wingers in behind. We just don't have a number 9. With Martial, it's probably better, but he's injured, right? He's been injured. And so having number 9s be injured, and then I just do think that there were games that Ronaldo probably should have started and did not. And I think it's kind of mounting up to the point where okay, Ten Hag doesn't want him here. This is awkward and it's going to get ugly. So I don't think it's disrespectful for him not to start the derby, but he was our leading scorer last year and he's featured so little. And we haven't been scoring an amazing amount of goals. So something else has to have happened with Ten Hag and Ronaldo.
Yeah, I mean, I think we'll know more at the end of this month because it's kind of been a stop-start season in the first place, and obviously it started pretty rocky for us. So I think at some point he was also just trying to get results first, even if he had to piss off some personalities, whether it be Maguire or a Shaw or a Ronaldo. But you can't keep him on the bench forever. I just think we have enough we have 8 more games this month that he's going to get an opportunity to play himself into form. And I don't think it is a bad idea to not throw him in with when we're getting fucking walloped by a City side, because it's like it's not going to help him out. We're not best served in that kind of situation where he's going to get opportunities to score. Because like I said, like he played for Portugal, had a bunch of chances, didn't score anything, didn't play that well. I think you want to ease him back in, get his confidence high, and then lean on him as you need to. But I think they're just grabbing his stuff and trying to make a big thing out of it, this whole Ronaldo controversy.
I was surprised he didn't come in. And I'm pretty sure I think Ronaldo's. I think it's pretty clear what's going on between Ten Hag and Ronaldo. I'm just gonna leave it at that. It's something happened. Ronaldo said he'd stay, then he said he'd leave, and then it's been like maybe he's been a diva about it and doesn't like Ten Hag. And yeah, they're probably. I just don't think they get along. However, it got here, but again, you have to look at the manager. Be like, you have this great player. How do you keep him happy? I would be thinking about that. Like Ronaldo is old, but he still can help us out. How do I keep him happy? He's got ego the size of Jupiter. And I think this is like full freeze out mode, and Ronaldo to leave in January, I think is where we're at already. And we don't have a number 9, which is like, that's the Glazer issue, right? The Glazer issue is that we don't have Ten Hag should have other options. We should be buying other options. But my view is, holy shit, we don't have anybody. We need Ronaldo to, in some capacity this season, if we want to make top 4. And right now it doesn't look like it. Jumping in the fan questions at Jamal Mota, quote, "Sirs, ouch. That's a painful one and a quick way to bring us all back down to earth. Still lots of work to do for Erik Ten Hag. Martial with 2 goals and Anthony with another is a positive, but we need to just move on and keep improving. Hashtag Glazers out." Such a reasonable take.
Well said, Jamal. I wish we were so even keeled, because that's right. It's just like, dude, shake yourselves off, learn from your mistakes, get better. Excuse factory, bro. That's why you come. That's why you come.
How's that been going?
That's why you come. What else we got, bro? Glazers out now and forever. Glazers out always. Sell the club. Sell the club. That's the only chance we got.
At C_Gibbons, quote, "Obviously disappointing, but let's not make more of this than we need to. We were at the beginning of a rebuild and we were outplayed by a superior side. Take what positives we can and move on Thursday. Hashtag Glazers out." What positives
Good take
from that game?
Positives were Anthony scored a banger. Martial looked okay. There's not many, but you got to make, lemons into limoncello, because today was shit. But hey, Casemiro, he's going to play more. Ronaldo, he's eventually going to play. And maybe Anthony will be worth all 85 million pounds because he's got quite a left boot in him. I had no idea.
Those are some positives.
You got to be positive, bro. You got to try. You got to tell yourself you're going to be happy.
No, sir, just gotta be. It's a long, hard look in the mirror after a game like this, because you have to say, "Oh, we're vibing in preseason." Come out.
A lot of games like this.
Smacked.
We had a lot of
and then
games
it's just
like
okay, we're vibing for like a few games. We lost to Real Sociedad, whatever. Europa League, we're good. Beat Sheriff. Hey, we beat Sheriff, we're good. Come back clapped by City. Didn't turn up. For me, it's the don't turn up. The don't turn up 4 goals and a half. That has to go. And Ten Hag has had enough time with these players and should be a good enough manager for that to go. Otherwise, there's something else going on. We all knew it was open heart surgery. So, at golfpro_x2, quote, "Well, we won the second half 3-2, but in all seriousness, start Martial, Shaw, and Casemiro next game. City are simply a galaxy better than us right now. We have to erase them from our minds and move on to the next match." So, some even keel Manchester United fans here on Twitter.
There were
some more salty takes.
You love to see it.
There were some more salty takes, but I took some reasonable ones. Because I thought this podcast would need it. And that's it, sir. That is it. That is the Muppet.
That is it.
Muppet ear ringing because you're slapping the side of the head so bad to wake up at 6 a.m. and see this team. I wish it didn't sting so hard. I wish in the 20 years of following this team that I could erase it. But that Champions League we lost to Barca, that one hurts. Rome still hurts.
Which one?
We lost in Rome. The one where we would have doubled up, and then Ronaldo last game for United before he left.
That side was arguably good enough to actually win, whereas 11 we never had a chance.
Well, we played so well in the first 20, 25 minutes. Should have had a goal. That was a real. That one hurt a lot. This one's gonna sting. Probably because of we saw this last year not turning up, and Manchester United and that badge of not turning up shouldn't exist. And I only have so many more times I could watch it.
Get comfortable, bro. You ain't going nowhere. We're not getting that much better anytime soon.
All the games. Can I be a fan and just not watch every single game?
Pod every game. Do an hour pod of it's like, all right, goal number 5. This is when Foden got on Holland's shoulders and just bashed us into the head with his dog. Yeah, oh fuck, these two again.
It's Manchester United looking to just lock it down, stave off embarrassment here.
Okay.
Looking to lock it down, stave off embarrassment, bring it on Fred.
I'll tell you why. This is why you didn't pull off the salty tweets. We got salty John. We don't need no salty tweets.
Hey, look, apologies for the salt today. It could be the early wake up. It could be whatever. But onwards and upwards. The good news is, I said this would be the toughest month of October. We got easy 3 games. We got to get up for them. We got to get results. This is a results-based game. No excuses to play like a champion.
There you go.
If you like the American Red Devils, we're for fans, by fans, where that was give you that Muppet take, that biased take. You might hate it, but you know what? That's what we're here to do. You want to support us, check out our Patreon page, patreon.com/American Red Devils. Behind-the-scenes episode coming out every month as well. Check out our website, AmericanRedDevils.com. Pick up some merch, support the podcast, AmericanRedDevils.store. Write a review, subscribe, wherever you listen. It's just me and Alex doing this podcast. So we really do appreciate it. It helps us do a lot of cool things that you guys are seeing out on social media right now. And we're really excited about it. Alex, give us our top 10 downloads last 7 days.
Top downloads. Number 1, how you doing? Pittsburgh, PA, Laureltown, New Jersey, Naperville, Illinois, Los Angeles, California, Belfast, Sydney, Canada, Rutherford, North Carolina, Pretoria, South Africa, Seattle, Washington, and last but not least, Chicago, Illinois. Appreciate all the American Red Devils listening week in, week out. We could not do it without you. Sorry, the sweet wouldn't be so sweet without the bitter, and today we got a big dose of bitter medicine. So let's shake ourselves off and get back to the Hans and Franz ball. So I guess where we belong these days. It certainly seems to feel like it, at least.
I was thinking back to over a decade ago, I think, where we were hanging out with our buddy who's the Everton fan, and I gave him a birthday present and had the Europa League badge on the sleeve, and I made sure to get the Europa League version just to kind of laugh at him, Yeah. And I was it really was a foreign competition to us at that point, and boy, we got downhill. Because now it's like
a warm bath, bro. It's where we belong.
That's what kills you is remembering what United used to be. That is what you're getting right now in this podcast when I'm upset. It's remembering what we used to be and what we are. It's just that, it's almost I have to. What was that commercial where they were you aren't good anymore? Remember?
I don't.
Where they were showing fans the video clips and just remember this isn't 1999. You're in 2022. This isn't 2008. You don't have Wayne Rooney. You have Anthony Martial. You don't have all these great.
You don't have
players.
Alex Gill. You have Richard Arnold. Yeah, that's exactly right.
Yeah, you don't have Alex Ferguson. It's just I need to do a little bit of woo-saw and get back to basics. But give us a song to take us out,
sir. I see the Stratford End Rising. Enjoy your week. We'll see you on Thursday.
Stratford End Rising.